Hello, my name is Charlotte Eisentrout, and I'm the Transformational Business Mindset Coach at Transformational Business Coaching. And today we're going to be going over the benefits of mindset transformation on life. Now, real quick note here. Mindset transformation is going to not only benefit your life, but also benefit your business. The process of mindset transformation is something different. I have a blueprint that I created based off of all the experience and all the mindset transformation that I went through so that I could be able to teach and coach and mentor those who are looking for mindset transformation. All right, so let's just dig into it. Number one is more bringing about and manifesting the things that I and you think about and want and need. So, especially this think about. Like, if we're thinking about something over and over and over again, eventually it will come into either we'll go out and find it or it will come looking for us. And the more that you believe that you deserve to have this thing, and the more that you believe that there is abundance and prosperity in your life, the more likely you will have this thing. And so in business, this could be employees, it could be money, it could be prosperity. I can get into that a lot more, but and if you're an employee and you're like, what's the benefits of mindset transformation? Like things like more prosperity and abundance, and even just like looking at the money that you have as being like enough. So, and being able to use the resources that you have as enough. Or if you wanted to make more money, you can absolutely make more money. There's nothing saying that you can't except for yourself. And this is where mindset transformation really comes in, because a lot of the things that we do and say in our general everyday life, we do and say because we've been evolved to protect ourselves. But a lot of the times by protecting ourselves, we sort of overprotect ourselves from things that are actually beneficial to us. And there's a lot of times where we might say, oh, if it feels good, you got to be careful of it. But that's not always the case. That is not always the case. Not everything we can be hedonistic and have good things come to us. You do have to. There are like spiritual things that you have to be aware of always, but we're not going to get into that right now. So, number 2, better communication to the forces that be about manifesting what you and I need, want, and desire. And so this could be like once this thing has been manifested, there is adjustment. You're allowed to say, thank you for presenting me with this. I want something a little bit different, and you can thank, the thing that came into your life. And this is all part of manifesting. You don't have to accept everything that comes to you, right? Like, as the things that come to you in life, you can choose to accept them, ignore them, or say, I need an adjustment. Number 3, better relationship and greater manifestation of money. So we already went over, like, I said money earlier, but you basically, whatever it is, wherever it is that you are right now, you are always manifesting. And that I get, and I also got that from Esther Hicks and Abraham. She has a lot of really good things to say, and so does Abraham. But especially like being able to manifest more of what you want by focusing on where your mindset is, what your belief systems are, and changing those and forming and reforming those mindset and beliefs so that then you are living the life that you ultimately want. Number 4, better relationships, more healthy relationships, healthier boundaries, better actions in relationships, more control. A lot of this is also definitely very much like, I hope that you also have this. Not everybody is going to, because not everybody has the same things that they need to work on in terms of mindset. Some people want to work on relationships. Some people want to work on more money. Some people want to work on better relationship with themselves. Like it depends on where you are and where you want to go. But this is what I've seen in my own life of having better relationships, more control over myself in relationships, more influence, like more understanding about what I can and cannot influence, better control over my tonality and my volume of voice, less reactive and more active. So less reactive and more like just react, like more active and involved in the conversation, and also being able to just move away when I'm uncomfortable and allowing myself as a part of that. Ultimately, everybody is going to be everybody's mindset is going to be a little bit different. Like it's like a fingerprint. No two people are exactly going to have exactly the same mindset, because your experience of life is going to be different. You're all going to have like different perspectives, different beliefs, different life paths, different business paths, different like ways of just thinking about the world, and where and how it is that you want to live in the world. And even if you're being told by one person or other people that you should live the way that they want you to live, if you're not feeling it in here and you feel like your life path is something completely different, you're allowed. You are absolutely allowed to feel like whatever it is that they are recommending to you just does not resonate with you. Just like how like why it is that I'm a transformational business mindset coach. I felt that calling, and consistently through the years and years that after I first started, because I feel like my journey was very soul. It was alone. I felt alone, and I feel like those who I can help, maybe I can help them with that time, energy, and money, because they don't have to do it alone. They don't have to do this all alone. I mean, like, and I did have support systems, but but getting those support systems in place so that you can really be able to like be new and do a new thing can be very difficult. And everybody's life, just like with mindset, everybody has a different life path that they're gonna go on. So number five is actually better driving. I'm a better driver. Like, I'm not reactive. I'm not like driving super fast. I'm not like racing other people like I see on a lot of streets in the Midwest of I got to get to my destination really quick, like, no, it's like we're good. I'm leaving on time. I'm having better time management. Hopefully you can have this too with transformational mindset, but better driving, more healthy and more healthy defensive driving, rather than just this reactive driving. Like, there's a joke that a lot of people there's a joke that a lot of people in Phoenix just drive like as if they've just robbed a bank. And and I'll admit I used to be a bad driver, we'll put it that way. But because I've transformed my mindset, I'm a lot more calm behind the wheel, a lot more controlled, a lot more focused, and therefore I'm just a better driver, just simply because I've changed my mindset. It's been absolutely fascinating, like this process of just changing and transforming my mindset, and of realizing like I don't have to race. I don't have anything to prove. I have to stay safe. Like, what is more important, right? Like, I just have to stay safe. Like, where is my priorities, right? Like, by transforming my mindset, I transformed my priorities, because instead of like, I have to be right, instead now it's, I need to be safe, right? And so just literally because I changed that part about myself, body, mind, and soul, and believed it, that I need to stay safe. I need to keep myself safe. I am worthwhile enough to keep myself safe. So I need to make sure that behind the wheel, I am driving safe. And you could have that too, if you wanted. So less unnecessary cursing. So, just having, like, for me, just somehow this came about, but for whatever reason, I just have more control over what I say. Now, does that mean that I never curse? No, because I believe that there are times where it is that you need to put in a word in order to emphasize your point. And I feel like that's perfectly acceptable. Am I so prude that I never curse at all? No, because I also understand that there is a certain power that comes from being able to curse, such as like they found, they did studies that people who say put their hand in a cold glass, like of a bowl of frozen water, and they're trying to like keep their hand in there for as long as they can, when they allow themselves to curse, they could hold their hand in the water longer. So translate this now to uncomfortable situations. One of the things that happens as a part of transformational mindset is that sometimes you will the biggest risk in transformational mindset is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so that means that on occasion you're going to need to get uncomfortable, and allowing yourself to use on occasion those curse words that are so integral to you just being able to tolerate the uncomfortable moment. It's actually quite revolutionary. I don't know, like, people just don't, we just don't say it out loud, that like saying bad words helps us be comfortable with being uncomfortable in the moment. It helps us tolerate certain things in the moment, as opposed to jippity joop, like, or these, made up words. Like, actually being able to say the words that we know are bad, that we know are cursing, it helps us in the moment be able to handle uncomfortable situations, and to be able to handle what it is that we're going through. Because one part about mindset transformation is just, sometimes you get really, really uncomfortable because you have to transform your mind, and you have to get rid of the old and bring in the new. And sometimes that means adjusting and improving and adjusting to change. So little tools like that can be absolutely astronomically so helpful. Okay, so number 7, more positive reactions to challenges, situations, or unwanted occurrences. So what I mean by this is, say for instance, just the other day, I was in a fight, like it was an argument, and with one of my friends, and it's just like, and instead of doing what I used to do, which was like, oh well, it's all their fault. No, it's all this. It's like everybody else's fault except for me. Instead of stressing about it like so much, which so much of us do, and so much of us just like blame other people, blame ourselves, just like or make the situation like catastrophic. Instead, I allowed myself to take a step back, say, okay, well, what can I control? I can control myself. I can control I have some control over my thoughts. And I thought, okay, well, then what am I thankful for? What is this teaching me? How is it that this experience can help me in the future? Right? And so then just by asking those questions and by answering those, and I had actually, a big part of that was getting into the habit of practicing gratitude. For years, I had to start. I started practicing gratitude as I went through my transformational mindset journey, and that has helped me just really change a lot of otherwise very negative situations into what's the best thing that could happen, or what's the best case scenario, what can I learn from this, or another thing was I had an interview with a sales position that I had open, and it didn't exactly go right. Like, not everybody's going to be fit for the job. And so I know that like old me would be, oh, what did I do wrong? Like, what did I do? And um, and instead, what I said, or like, again, just play, like old me would have just played the blame game of what did I do wrong? What did they do wrong? Everything's terrible. But instead, what I did is, because I had been practicing gratitude and of asking myself questions that help me learn and improve and grow. I said, uh, I researched, and I also realized and reminded myself not everybody's going to be a good fit for the sales that you're looking for. There's different types of sales. Some people are good at cold calling. Some people are good at cold one-on-one interactions. Some people are good at uh, the more like relationship building kind of selling. Like it's not. He just wasn't a good fit, and it's important for me to recognize that it wasn't a good fit. And I'm proud of myself, the fact of like, okay, well, maybe I had thought during the interaction of, well, maybe it might not be a good fit, but like, let's explore, like maybe, give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Maybe he might be good, or like maybe we can like practice a little bit, see what we can learn, right? And just by taking that risk and asking questions, I feel good about the interaction. I'm glad that I interviewed him. And so that can just really, really help a lot. And because I already had that mindset in there. And when I talk mindset, I mean, I transform my mind, body, and soul. I mean, like, I could really get into it. Like, it's not just perspective changing. It's not just like, ooh, a little bit, here and there. No, I mean, like, I am a new person. And it took a lot of work. And I hope that, that by working with me, we can save you time, effort, energy, and money, so that, maybe you don't take as long as I do, or that you don't spend a bunch of money before realizing that you need to make a change. Okay, so number 8, better concept of time and my place within it. Better concept of time. Oh my goodness, this one was a big one. It's like the conceptualization that our life is a blip, and how it is that we like, and the concept of what is effective use of time, right? And prioritizing, like, and this was all like like there was research as a part of this, and experimentation, and just this revelation of body, mind, and soul coming together and saying, you are an energetic being borrowing this body for a certain amount of time. You don't have time to waste your time with blah 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 blah. You need to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to, and things such as doing what it is that other people want you to do and not what God wants you to do is basically a waste of time. And the things that those other people feel, like are calling to them that they should do for their life is going to be different than yours. And their calling on their life is not a waste of time. But if they're trying to put their calling on their life onto you, that is a waste of time. It most certainly is. It is absolutely a waste of time for other people to be like, you need to be like this. That's kind of like saying me to say to you, you need to be more like me. No, how about instead we celebrate our differences and come together and recognize our differences and our similarities and just celebrate them both. Like, hello. And that includes life path. That includes what you spend the most time doing each day. And that includes your business. And that includes the jobs that you go to. And that includes your self-improvement. And that includes the goals that you have. That includes the people that you have in your life. That includes the houses that you buy, the cars that you buy, the place that you live. Like, you feel it. You know. It's like when you're on the path of life, I had just listened to this thing by Esther Hicks and Abraham that was just mind-blowing. I loved it. And it's that let me try to summarize this as best as I can, is that when you are on the right path and when you are on the right flow, the right current that is your path, you will feel good. And when you are off the current, when you are trying to live your life as according to other people, or if you are trying to live your life as according to what other people think that you should be doing, or even you think, oh, I should be doing this, and you're actually off of that path that you feel in your mind and your soul and your body that you are meant for, there is a disconnect. You don't feel good. There is a lot of, it's almost like as if there's even more uncomfort. There's even more discomfort because you are not on the path that body, mind, and soul that you need to be on. I mean, there were times where on my mindset journey that I felt uncomfortable, but I also felt like I was doing the thing that I was supposed to be doing. And I know that all the times that I've done things that other people, or I've tried to do things that other people told me that I should do, and yet, like, constant, I got this resistance back from, like, say, the universe, that whatever it was that I was trying to do wasn't good for me or wasn't my path. I knew that this is not for me. And so I had to go back to the drawing board and say, what is for me? What is my life path? And then go and move towards that. And that's where I ended up finding a lot more success and just a lot more of being comfortable with where I was going. More of being attracted to positive situations, positive outcomes, and positive people. Well, maybe it's not always positive, but it's going to feel positive to you. Like being around, like the more that you're around people who you want to be around. That's what I really mean. I don't mean this like toxic positivity stuff. I mean the people, I mean being more attracted and understanding like who you are and who you attract and the people that you want to be around. And sometimes, and it's, I mean, I'll admit there are times where it is that you give yourself pause because, and perchance you might be wondering, why am I here? A lot of the times that means that you're there because it's a part of the path and there's something that you need to do. Like, not all the time is being on your path going to be comfortable. Just like how traveling from one city to the next is not always going to be comfortable. But as you get there, you are going to have things that happen, obstacles in your way, issues that come up. Maybe you have to change a tire, or maybe you have to, go into the gas station and buy some pretzels, and there's like a weird guy standing outside, right? Like that's more of a metaphor for life and for your life path, but it's saying like you are going to be more attracted to the things that attract you and to who you are authentically are, but you're also going to have these moments of being uncomfortable, because ultimately the reason why we're here is to improve. Like, if we were born and everything was perfect all the time, every day, we would probably get bored really quickly. Okay, so number 10, more gratitude for any situation, including the failures and the learning opportunities. Just having more gratitude. This was also, it took practice. What I started off with is basically every day I thought of 10 things to be grateful for. And then 2 years in, I started practicing not just that 10 things to be grateful for every day, but I started to add the why. Why am I grateful for these things? And then that just like helped, solidify more of like why I'm grateful. And the more gratitude that you have for any situation, the that gratitude helps those failures become learning opportunities. To be able to say, what can I learn? How can I improve myself? And to be able to say, you know what, I'm thankful for this opportunity. I'm thankful for this this challenge and this obstacle, because that means that I need to grow and I need to improve myself, or I need to improve this before I get to the next step. And that's just it's just very, very helpful to do, and it's very it helps your mind, body, soul release a lot of stuck energy. I'm not even getting into any of that like really, really deep transformational mindset stuff right now. I'm just talking like the shallow stuff. Like, it's sort of like it's saying that my physical world, all the benefits that I'm talking on here, is essentially saying that my physical world became so much better because I dealt with all of the stuff in my subconscious. And I dealt with all the stuff in my psychology and my mindset, because this is part of mindset, is that it's not just I think good thoughts. It's also I believe this, or I perceive this, right? It's so much deeper than just giving gratitude. It's so much deeper than just practicing being aware. It's so much deeper than just practicing mindfulness. Okay, number 11, better understanding of and acceptance of what is, rather than trying to change what cannot be changed. So this has to do with the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity, or the peace, to understand the things that I cannot change, the courage to change what I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The day that that it was described to me, the day that was described to me, and that my therapist at the time had really shown me more of like what I could and could not control, that put me at so much peace. And the reason for that is because, a big part of transformational mindset means you need to have come from a dysfunctional family. And about 80% of us have had some kind of dysfunctional family. And I love my family, don't get me wrong. But and they were doing what they had learned from their moms and their dads and whatever down the line, the generational line. But what ends up happening as part of dysfunctional families is being told, either literally or by inclination, or like by saying like, look, this is what's happening, is that you are being told that in some way the things that you do and say are making them do something. And the reality is that, I mean, we're not really making each other really do or say anything. I mean, you can, certainly make each other mad. But each person has a choice in how they act and react in any given situation. And so once I understood that, like, emotionally and psychologically, like, I have some control over myself, and I have some control over the things that I say, and I have control over my breath, and being able to take back control over the breath and can really help us not say that other people now have control over us, right? Now we are taking back control over ourselves. And the more that I just gain that understanding and acceptance of the things that I can and cannot change, that I actually can and cannot change, like the weather. You can't change the weather. Like, I can pray for like good weather, I could pray for rain, I could pray for sunshine, but whether or not it shows up is mostly to the decision of the powers that be. And so that was really peaceful, and it's been peaceful ever since, of just being able to say, you know what, I can't control you. or if you have like, say you're in a group and somebody's saying something that's inappropriate, and you're going, and you're gesticulating, and you're trying to say, like, don't say that, like, or like, let's change the subject, right? You could say, let's change the subject. You can do that, but you can't actually make that person change the subject. It's like, you could suggest it, but ultimately that person has choice over themselves, right? And so you could maybe influence them to change the subject, but otherwise you can't actually, like, you don't actually have control over the other person. And that's really like per how you were raised and what kind of environment you were raised in. Okay, number 12, more comfortable spending time by myself. Okay, so more comfortable spending time by myself. If you, so it came to my understanding that, like, okay, it was like, for the longest time, I guess I'm an introvert. I'm an extrovert, introvert. Like, I used to be an extrovert for a really long time, and I preferred to spend time with my friends and family and less at home and less by myself. And it's funny because, the concept of extrovert versus introvert, I feel like maybe people get that kind of mixed up because uh, some people, I've so often heard introverts are introverted because they're so worried about what other people will judge them on. Maybe sometimes that's true, but now that I've gone from being super extroverted to a lot more comfortable being an introvert, I gotta say it's probably more that introverts are comfortable being by themselves. It's not necessarily that they're always worried about what other people will say about them, because even extroverts can also be very worried about what other people say to them or say about them or say around them, right? Like just like with introverts. So I don't think that introverts and extroverts are necessarily a direct correlation to self-esteem. And yeah, I think that the idea that being an introvert means you're automatically fearful of what other people will say just doesn't hold water anymore. And in both situations, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, if you are worried so much about what other people say and think about you, and you're having a really negative experience when you're by yourself, then that is a significant indicator that you're going to really benefit from transformational mindset coaching, transformational business mindset coaching, or therapy, or group therapy, or any other type of, or it could even be hypnotherapy, not gonna lie. And there's also free resources on YouTube if you're ever interested. Yeah, that, like, if you don't like yourself and you don't like spending time with yourself, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, that is a that is a big indicator that you might want to consider starting therapy of some kind, either mindset therapy or mindset coaching or therapy, and there's different types of therapy out there. Trust me, there's a lot. and just, just a huge indicator that it might be time to start therapy, for sure. If you cannot stand just being by yourself for more than 5 minutes, like if you are in a room by yourself and it's quiet and you're thinking to yourself and you can't even spend time alone for 5 or 10 minutes, and you start to get uncomfortable with your own company, that's just a huge indication that therapy, coaching, hypnotherapy, past life regression, all of those things might be a good idea to start. All or any. And now, granted, please keep in mind, I am not a licensed therapist. I coach based on my experiences, the things that I've learned, the knowledge that I've gained, and it's been a lot. It's been 10 years. 10 years of mindset transformation, and it's been absolutely phenomenal. I've loved almost every minute of it because the results have been so amazing. Anyway, and we're going over that now. So anyway, but number 13, greater manifestation of good things. That's an emphasis there, of good things. Greater manifestation of good things. Remember how I mentioned you're always manifesting. Like whether or not you want to say like I'm going to tap into manifestation today or right now or 10 years ago or if I'm thinking about something, or if I want something to exist, you, regardless of whether or not you are consciously aware of it, you are always manifesting something. And the more you become aware of that manifestation and the processes that it takes of like thinking of what you want and not trying to not think of what you don't want, and all of that stuff. And when you focus your mind on what you do want, and when you focus your thought process on what you do want, and you take better control of the process of manifestation. And you have greater manifestation of the things that you want. So that's really important. Because a big part of it is knowing that, like, as a part of mindset transformation, is in areas where you thought that you weren't good enough, you now believe that you're good enough. In areas that you thought that you weren't valuable enough, you now believe that you're valuable enough. In areas that you thought that you didn't deserve, you now think that you deserve, right? So it's when I say transformation, I mean transformation. It's amazing. Okay. Number 14, greater manifestation of better things. So again, this is the same thing. It's basically the same thing that I just said. Better alignment with body, mind, and soul. Number 15. Okay, so that's... it's like that sigh of relief. Better alignment with body, mind, and soul. It's like better satisfaction in life. Better, you feel more comfortable in your own body. Gotta say, feel more comfortable in your own body. I used to wear a mask a lot. Like, I mean, when I talk, like, I mean, it was, like, I was borderline narcissist. Or another word for it is borderline personality disorder. Because I had grown up with the mesh men and negative judgments and, you know, black and white thinking, blah, blah, blah. Great things. Not really. Like I had, as a part of borderline personality disorder, that means you are trying to wear a mask. You are trying to be a different person. And when you are trying to be a different person, this causes a big misalignment because you are basically faking it to make it. You're faking it, you're faking your life, you're faking interest in the things that you're not actually interested in, so that you would have acceptance and love from your friends and family. Yeah. It is not a good place to be. And, you know, a lot of people these days, they throw around narcissism. And, you know, like, because there's a lot more people who are posting videos on YouTube like I'm doing right now. Does that make me a narcissist? No. It means that I'm, like, I feel that I have good information that you could use. I mean, I also, like, the tiniest bit of vanity, sure, you know, like I'm not bad looking, you know, right? But narcissism is not the same as vanity. Narcissism is wearing the mask even more. Wearing that fake mask. Wearing the mask that says I'm somebody who I'm not. That I do and love and am interested in things that I am not. And so better alignment with mind, body, soul. Just being more authentic with yourself. Number 16. Greater conceptual, actual, physical, and spiritual understanding of one's spirit. Okay, so greater conceptual, actual, physical, and spiritual understanding of one's spirit. So this is for me, this is what I had, okay? I gained that very, very, like, conceptualized physical understanding of what it means to be alive and what it means to be in my body, and what it means to have an energetic presence within my body. Hopefully maybe you might have that. Maybe you might have that as well. It's phenomenal. More acceptance of what is. So that's going back to the, you know, just understanding what I can and cannot control, and just having that more acceptance of what is, even if it's like good or bad or in between, wrong, right. just having that acceptance, and by having more acceptance of what is, that enables you and empowers you to have a more logical reaction, and to be able to say, okay, and a more empowered action. So when you're able to say, okay, well, this is my situation, these are the choices that I can do in reaction to the situation, which one is best? And now you've taken control, and now you're at a much more logical place because you've breathed and you've accepted what is. More control and understanding of what can be controlled. More personal and creative power. So going back to, more personal and creative power. There it is. More collaboration with like-minded individuals. So this means like you're more likely to work with people who are like you. And as a part of like recognizing that you don't need to wear the mask anymore, and you can be a lot more authentic, and you can live your life a lot more authentic according to you and your personal life path and what you feel is right for you. That means that you're also going to go out and almost like naturally attract people who are like you, who are looking for similar things. And so by working together, now it's this concept of 1 + 1 = 11. Not 1 + 1 = 2, but 1 + 1 = 11, because when you are working alone, things can be really difficult. But when you have a collaboration with someone, now suddenly things are 10 times more powerful, because you have a creative force to work with. You no longer feel alone. You have extra hands, you have extra mind, you have extra viewpoint, extra brain, extra mindset, right? Better leadership over the self. This is one thing that I really had is, as a part of my transformational mindset journey. Before I started, I was always taking initiative. I was always managing the team. I was always like, let's figure out where you are and where your skills are, so that then we can really be able to we can analyze your skills, and we can have you do the thing that you're interested in doing within this project. And I found out later that that's leadership. But after I found out that that's leadership, that also meant that I had to, as a part of mindset transformation, I found out that because of the state that I was in, that caused the entire mindset transformation, and it to begin with, the catalyst was so great that I had to take a step back from my life, from business, from doing business, from being in a job, and I had to take a step back on my life and really look at what I was doing and who I was really leading. And I had to I took a big step back in terms of leadership, and I started to be much more of a follower and of just allowing myself to have time out. That's what I personally went through, because I realized that in order to be a leader, in order to be that strong leader, I had to build up my strength again, because I needed to heal. Just like when a football player breaks a leg, they need to take time off to heal that leg. Or like if a scientist suffers from a concussion, that scientist, that thinker, needs to take time out to heal their brain, to heal their that hurt, because they had suffered a blow to the head, like literally. And mine was mine was a psychological blow because I had experienced a lot, and my concept of reality had been twisted and turned upside down, so much so that I needed to take a step back and heal myself so that I could be a better leader, so I could lead myself better, and then so that by leading myself better, I could lead others better, because things had just happened that I had basically taken a blow in life. Like, I had basically taken a hit. I was pushed down, and I had to get myself back up. Now I'm thankful for that now. Definitely. I wasn't thankful for it then, but you learn, you grow and you learn, and I'm glad that I've taken this time to just focus on being a better leader for myself so that then I can show up better for others. And I hope that would be something that you'll also find as a great benefit to transformational mindset. Better able and more likely to serve greatly. One of the biggest things about leadership is you are in the art of service. You're providing inspiration, motivation, purpose to your managers and employees who work for you. When you lead, you're not just being the loudest person in the room, not by a long shot. I mean, because if you're trying to lead by just being the loudest person in the room, and somebody else is better able to get the team motivated, the person who is getting the team motivated, they're the leader. But big part of leadership is serving the team, of being there for the team, of making sure that people are on task and that they are motivated and that they want to be there and that they know where they're supposed to be. Now that goes kind of into more management, but being a better leader and being able to serve greatly are two things that are married. Being able to serve greatly to your team is just so integral to any kind of leadership, management, and business position that you'll ever be in. 23. Greater realization, actualization, and success on personal goals. So, greater realization, you're like, for me, definitely, I realize authentically more about who I am, and so then that meant that also my goals ended up changing. Actualization, having a lot more of those goals come about, and success on personal goals. Being able to achieve that and being able to get to the point of the end, of that goal and actually achieving that. One of the things that I had that had happened to me and in my family that I love so much. I love them so much. I really do. But one of the dysfunctions, and that a lot of people see, and a lot of people, it's like because you're in that dysfunction, then you start to take on that dysfunction, is constantly moving the goalpost. And so one of the things that has just been so transforming for me and just really helps me a lot is being able to allow myself to just take a minute. Sometimes it could be an hour, or sometimes even a day, depending on how big the success is, and of just allowing myself to celebrate it and giving myself a gift of whatever it is that helps me feel good. And then after celebrating, then I go to the next goal. Then I move the goalpost. But I don't ever move the goalpost until I make sure that I celebrate that win because it is a win. Because a lot of the things that you go through in life, you have to work on it. Maybe you're not always paid. You're not like a lot of business owners listening here, when you first started business, whether you were working a full-time job, part-time job, and then working on your business on the side, or you were working on your business full-time, at any point, you were not being paid. And so, as much as I do, how freaking important it is to be able to just celebrate that first sale, or celebrate that first, person that you hired, right? These are so important, because you want to prevent overwhelm. You want to prevent being burned out. And I had been constantly burned out before I had started this mindset transformation, because what I had done was I would just go and go and go and go and go, and I was work, like, and not allowing myself to have that success, not allowing myself to give myself that celebration, that pat on the back, that good job, because of because I didn't know any better. And I had finally learned, you have to learn how to celebrate your successes. And transformational mindset really can be as shallow as in, like only, oh, we're only going on the, surface. We're not going into the subconscious yet. Like, it can be as shallow as saying, just allowing yourself to celebrate those successes. Absolutely. Number 24, more positive feelings, gratitude, thankfulness, happiness, joy, satisfaction, wholeness, zen. These are all good. Like, I experience that more often, much more often than I used to. And also that negative experiences, negative emotions feel more tolerable. Negative emotions and trying to be comfortable with being uncomfortable just used to be just so difficult. And the coping mechanisms that I used to use were whatever it is that I could find. Not always and a lot of people use unhealthy coping mechanisms, but it's the only things that we know how. And the more that I really started to learn those healthy coping mechanisms, the biggest thing was changing my breath and breathing and allowing and understanding and being more validating of myself, and that really helped a lot, because it's then helped me get through the yin and yangs of life, the positives and the negatives of life, because no matter what happens, you're always going to experience change and adjustment in some way. And that means that you're going to experience the positive and the negative emotions. It's just, what matters is your reactions to them. Number 25. More positive feelings, even in times that might bring negative feelings. So this means, really what this means is having those negative feelings, like the duration of experiencing negative feelings has been reduced in, like, from to, like, oh, it's like not as much time. And it's not as intense. Like, I'm not, wow, everything's horrible. It's not catastrophic anymore that I feel a little sad and that I should feel guilty for feeling sad, blah, 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 or angry and then sad and guilty for feeling angry and sad. No, like, instead it's like, because I have more understanding that, like, emotions are here for a reason, and there are good reasons, like, and you shouldn't, and that you shouldn't feel guilty for having your emotions. Like, all of those things can help you have more positive feelings, even in times when You can have negative feelings. And if you're ever interested, one book that I really recommend that is now just like such a amazing book is Dale Carnegie's How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And that's How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. That's a really good book to like even just start. um and then there's a lot of other resources out there for just getting more for emotional regulation and emotional tolerance. Okay, 26. More use of tools and resources that guide, help, and propel us towards success. So I have, so I use more tools and resources. I know of more things that I've brought in more things that help me with my mindset, like setting up my environment, using certain tools, being able to keep an open mind. These are, and even setting up my environment in such a way that I have things around me that bring me joy. Such as Marie Kondo's life-changing magic of tidying up. That has been very, very useful. I know that's been very useful even for my family. And this is all like, again, this is like stuff we're not in the subconscious, but by going into the subconscious, you know that you deserve and are valuable and are enough to have things in your life that give you joy. And if you're currently at a point where you're like, I don't think that I deserve to have joy and happiness, then that's where transformational mindset, coaching, or otherwise, such as therapy of various sorts, might be very much something to look into. More patience, 27. More patience and understanding, validation. I'm a lot better at validating other people's experience, which has been great, and just a lot more accepting. And I'm a lot nicer. That's one thing. I feel like I'm a lot nicer. I'm a lot nicer person than I used to be. One of the things that is an indication that you might not be a good person is you feel guilty for a lot of the things that you say or do. And like how I used to live my life before 2015 was just so much different. And just how I used to like be with people. And when you're like, because I'm choosing kindness more, I can sleep better. Because I'm choosing kindness more, I take care of my health better. I take care of me better. I have a more healthy mindset. I have a more healthy psychology. But a part of choosing kindness meant that I had gotten rid of a lot of my own hang-ups. And that meant as part of healing those hang-ups, that meant healing trauma. And that's a part of transformational mindset coaching, and a part of therapy, and a part of the tools and resources and knowledge. And that is definitely a lot more of that subconscious area of our brain, of our mind, that we don't usually want to talk about. More understanding that perfect timing is not up to us, but up to the greater powers that be. And it is up to us about whether or not we can feel it, and hear it, and then respond to it. And I've gotten a lot better at responding well to the perfect timing of the universe, and that means a lot less of that second guessing, or doubt. Like, if you have this message, if you hear or feel something like that maybe an agreement isn't a good idea, or walking somewhere isn't a good idea, that instead of second guessing that and possibly putting yourself in a dangerous situation, even though it didn't look dangerous at all, that can actually help you so much more. And because then it helps you stay safe, helps you not take risks that you're not supposed to, not take paths that you're not supposed to, not be in situations that you're not supposed to, or even it could even be times where you've if you, now granted, if you ask God, can you keep me safe? God says yes, and then like years later, or sometimes it could be even months later, he might put you in a situation where then he can prove to you that he will keep you safe. There is that. But again, there's a big part of that is being able to hear and being able to react. And one of the things that I found as a part of transformational mindset that I went through is really tapping in to the energy of do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that, perfect timing, here, not there, if that makes sense. Better relationships. And I already went over that. And the list goes on and on and on. So that's 26 items. And again, the list goes on and on. I have more on LinkedIn about my transformational mindset journey. There's a column of what I went, where I was, and then there's the column of like where I'm going, or like where I am now. And it's been amazing. It's been quite a wild ride. The benefits far outweigh any level of me being uncomfortable, and because no one can really buy self-esteem. You can't really buy love. You can't really buy joy. But I can teach you the tools and the knowledge and the ways, the processes that you can go through in order to really change your life, change your mindset, improve your business, and just have that next level of success and according to you, you know. So yeah, again, my name is Charlotte Eisentrout, and I'm a transformational business mindset coach, and I'll have links below if you want to set an appointment with me or whatever. All right, bye.